Hello everyone and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts Stocks and Crypto YouTube video. Today is Monday, August 18, 2025. It's after 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at night in the USA. Let's start with SPY daily chart. We are still in this uptrend for the past 4 months. Current resistance is 645. Current support is 640 here on the price. There is not a bearish pattern that I'm seeing right now. We are not having a prolonged consolidation. There's no head and shoulders. There's no double top in the current price right now. If it's going to happen, it could take 1 to 2 months for something like that to happen. But we are in the uptrend still. We have to watch out for the economic data. It's starting to consolidate and cool down a little bit just because of some of this inflation data is not going so well. We're looking forward to Jackson Hole Symposium, the FOMC chairman this weekend, what he's going to say there, and if there's going to be a rate cut in September for interest rates. So in terms of technical pattern, it's not extreme right now. Yes, the only thing I could say is we're starting to lose momentum on the RSI on the daily chart. The weekly chart is not extreme. We're starting to lose momentum. Now, on the 4-hour chart, if we're starting to look for swing trade setups, we're still in the uptrend, and the RSI or anything is not extreme. So it's kind of in a waiting pattern, holding pattern right now. I would have to dig pretty deep into a day trading time frame, like a 5-minute 15, to get a decent setup for my system. So that's why when I run into something like this situation, I just wait. It's probably a little bit more bearish at this point because on the daily chart, it's just floating in the air right now. If we were right on a moving average down here, it would be more bullish for me. But when it gets to somewhere in the top zone, even if it's just a relative top before it pulls back, it's a little bit more bearish right now. But we have a bunch of retail earnings coming out this week. NASDAQ. Very similar. QQQ ETF, still in this uptrend for 4 months, starting to lose a little bit of RSI momentum. The weekly, the only thing I could say is the MACD starting to fall, and we had a very small doji candle, a little bit of consolidation for this week. The 4-hour chart, we're still in the EMA cross uptrend. It's floating above the 50 EMA support right now. The support levels are 575, resistance level, big one, 582 to the upside. And unless we have some kind of flash crash over a couple days, it's probably just going to touch an EMA and try to bounce one more time, unless there's really bad news. So the deeper support is 569 to the downside, really deep support, 558 as well. Now, all I'm seeing on Dow Jones is that we're still in this golden upcross DIA ETF, still in the golden upcross, a temporary triple top. So this is not the final ending of Dow Jones. It just means that we're reaching this yellow bar resistance zone, which is about 450, but it can easily break that if the earnings are good. We're just piercing through right now, testing 448. Support the downside 441. That big support down here where the hammer candle was, testing liquidity, somewhere around 435. Again, for me, I really don't like buying things that are in the air in a daily chart because that means it's already rallied for me. If I'm patient, try to buy a EMA touch or something similar to like that, a support zone. IWM, we had that nice rally as well. About 2 weeks ago, we had that nice 200 EMA bounce. And so we're still in the golden upcross. It's not extreme. It did poke out of that Bollinger Band just for a day, and then it's consolidating right above 226 support level. And the resistance is 230. Do we have momentum? It's actually building a little bit more momentum here on Russell 2000. On the DIA, it's very similar happening as well. So some of the smaller stocks are having momentum, essentially tech as well, and financial ETF. So let's look at that for a second. We just looked at those 4 indexes. Let's go to XLF. We're still in the golden up cross on XLF, but what I'm seeing is a very minor head and shoulders price pattern. If we take the EMAs off, we're seeing this triple top right here that's below $53. Consolidation. This is not extreme because it's right above the EMA, moving averages. If this head and shoulders was a lot higher up here in the air, floating in space, then it would be more scary. But it's right above a support level EMAs. So it's more of a consolidation for me going sideways. But probably at some point this year, it could move plus or minus 5%. So if the financial stocks are going to pull back, that's okay temporarily, and then try to test the support so we could try to bounce again. Or if it breaks out, that would be beautiful as well. Now, the last stock I'm going to show, I'm just only going to show setups that I'm finding. I'm not going to go over every tech stock out there because sometimes I just go according to what my system says. So Adobe stock, text creative stock. Adobe, all I'm seeing is on a weekly chart, notice that there is this double bottom forming temporary right above 338 to 345 area. There is this momentum that's happening on the MACD, 1, 2, 3, and we have RSI bullish divergence momentum. Yes, there is a death cross on the weekly, so this is not the greatest setup in the world. But if we can get something like what happened in this year, April, after this crash, if it could sustain itself and if they have good news, it could go 10 to 20%. This happened one time. So if it happens again, we could rally straight into earnings, and it would be nice to see something happening there. It's only about 3 weeks until earnings. So maybe there might be 10% upside here for about maybe a 7% risk, 8% risk to hopefully 16% upside at the maximum. Okay, let's switch over to Bitcoin, crypto. Now, total crypto market cap, we're still in the golden up cross, but about a week ago, we got a little bit too overextended on the Bollinger Bands. It pierced outside there. This is when Bitcoin tapped to 124, 125K. And so it's pulling back now. This is fine. It's healthy. Sometimes when we reach these relative $4 trillion market caps or a strong resistance, like in the past, it'll pull back. And then I train myself to wait for a pattern and then buy for a support level. So for my patterns, it has to be either a dip, right? Or it could be a EMA cross like this, touching the red line. It could poke out of the Bollinger Band. That could be a trading opportunity. We could have upside down head and shoulders. It's happened multiple times. I love that pattern. We could have V-shaped reversals, right? I'm going to be honest. I didn't really play this last one because I was protecting my capital after a double top, which is okay. It's okay. It's fading down. I'm just going to wait for the next setup right here, maybe 3.7 trillion or something around there. The intraday looking like it's already going to bounce, however. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. There's a clean Kraken chart, for example. Now, what am I saying on my weekly watch list? That Bitcoin on the weekly chart, for starters, has this very suspicious looking double top with a bearish MACD and a bearish RSI. It could take maybe 30, 45, 60 days for this to play out. It's very slow, the weekly chart. But if this is a resistance point, it's something that I need to be careful about. Like I was saying last week as well, Solana chart, the bigger pattern here is if we can't keep going higher, there is an ominous weekly head and shoulders that can happen, but it's not extreme. Usually the tops are when you get these really, really overbought RSI on the weekly, and then you get a stronger dump. But I'm just saying, short-term double top on some of these coins. Going back to Bitcoin, on the daily chart, still in the uptrend. I'm not extremely scared or anything like that. It's just starting to get rejected below this longer-term trend line. So if I'm very disciplined with my trend lines, it was a failed breakout if I view it like this. It doesn't matter what the hype says on social media, is when I look at these two trend lines, especially this bottom trend line, was rejected to the downside. That was the retest, and then we rejected down one more time. So unless we hold this higher low, must hold above $111,000 USD Bitcoin to get one more bounce. We could still consolidate. That's always the third scenario for me. But it's already bearish. It looks like probably we're going to get intraday bounces, meaning 5-minute, 15, hourly. Let's start to look at those a little bit. Before this video, I'm starting to notice the 4-hour MACD is starting to go bull for me. So we could get a bounce on the 4-hour. The 1 hour, it's also happening. We're still in the downtrend. We death crossed, however. So I'm going to play, if I'm going to play Bitcoin, wait for this falling wedge. Maybe we'll get one more dump to scare liquidity or something like that at 114, 113 area zone down here, and then try to play the trading bounce if I'm really aggressive. But if I want to be more conservative, I want to wait for, because it's in a downtrend, we don't technically know when that downtrend is going to end. So that I need to find a pattern in the price, like a higher low, which I circled. So right now, if analogy is, if this box is downtrending, it's very similar to this box in the price. Okay, so how am I going to enter Bitcoin? If I want to trade it, I need to see some kind of structure change in the price. I need to see a trend change. Starts on the hourly, 15-minute, hourly, and 4-hour. But if I want a cleaner setup, yes, I'm going to miss out a little bit on percent or so, but I want to see the higher low reversal, and that's when you see the volume returns and the trading returns. But if it's downtrending, we get some of these flash dump crashes, which happens to be, this is probably the downside violation on a daily chart on the Bollinger Band, right? That lower side of some of those perfect trading entries, right? So that's exactly what we were talking about 2 weeks ago, or it's actually a couple of weeks ago, that when it crashed out of there, I was saying, if we happen to have a trend change reversal, which we did on intraday chart, then we get this rally, right? So now that it's over and we're starting to fall down, and it's just a little bit too high in the value of Bitcoin, it needs a little bit of a reset here, and it's happening right now. So on a daily chart, summary is, until I see some kind of big pattern, I want to see double bottom, I want to see upside down head and shoulders, I want to see trend change. One green candle is not enough for me. I like this bounce. In previous August 2, 3, 4, 5, we had a bounce, pull back. That's the higher low. Very sensitive on daily charts. So I need to sometimes go to 4-hour to see, oh yeah, that is the higher low. Yes, and then buy back. And then when it gets out to here, that's the sell signal. Buy signal, sell signal. And when it's in the middle of that, do nothing. That's my strategy. I don't do anything here when it does something like that. That's how my win rate is high on crypto. All right, let's go to Ethereum, and we'll end soon. Now, Ethereum is a different chart. Ethereum is this very similar problem where we rallied. Beautiful rally, by the way. Rallied nicely high, higher low, high, higher low. That's the reversal signal. Higher high, and then it's starting to get extreme. Poked out of that Bollinger Band on Friday, August 15. You can see the RSI here is too high. Bearish momentum RSI, bearish momentum MACD. If you know this setup, this is called the bearish momentum, bearish divergence. As a technical trader, I exit on those as a swing trader. But sometimes, right, if it happened here and we had the bearish momentum, it's the swing trading exit signal, but it's not the final investing signal. So it's a different strategy, different mindset. If I'm an investor and if somebody bought really low Ethereum, don't get scared here probably. If you're a trader and just bought at 3,500, probably taking some profit because it's We're playing the support to the resistance, the one swing. But it's still in the uptrend. As a longer term investor, we still got a golden cross here. Wonderful to see. Love the golden cross, 5,200 EMA. When we go to a weekly chart, I understand why people are selling, because we're at the upper zone. I just call it the upper resistance zone. The lower support zone was down here 2 years ago when I bought, right? And we saw this. End of December 2023, October 2023, that's more towards the bottom side of the support zone. But we are not there anymore. We're at the top of the resistance zone on a weekly. And we basically barely hit this RSI on the weekly chart, 72. Traders are starting to take some of their profit because we don't want it to just go down again. It's pointless. It does that if somebody's a bull. So stop loss is moving up, and then at a certain point activates, it takes the trader's profit. Now, it's not the end of Ethereum. I'm sounding bearish today because that's what it looks like on the charts. But in terms of 4-hour structure, we're still in the uptrend. High, higher, low. Okay. And if it's going to touch immediate support, 4150 and 4,000. If we lose 4,000 and we start downtrending really hard, then traders are probably going to be hands off, right? But I have to anticipate, okay, where's the next potential support level where it's likely to bounce? Because it happens on these uptrends, right? When we get this uptrend reversal, line touch, I call it EMA, moving average touch bounce, golden cross on a 4-hour, happened again here, it dumps. But is Ethereum garbage? No, it's not. It's the number 2 crypto in the entire world. And so 25% down is technically a discount in this uptrend, going up like this, going up. That's a buy. Upside down head and shoulders, up cross again, and a very, very subtle opening. I call it the fans out up cross. Very, very silent, quiet signal. You got like 4 days to get in there, and then it blows up and goes crazy to the upside. A lot of cryptos do that. AI stocks do that. Quantum stocks does that. Tech stocks does that as well. Penny stocks even does. It's very quiet, up cross, and then it's very silent before it explodes. Now the pullback, we're getting another pullback right now. So that's why I'm getting ready. 4,200, 4,000 as well. And if we get an intraday momentum like an hourly, it's setting up into the down cross right now. Setting up into the down cross right now. Draw my trend lines. Delete this yellow box. We could see it could be a double bottom, but if it dumps, right? If people get liquidated, longs get liquidated, just let it have a flash crash and then try to grab that. That's my style. Because sometimes if I buy the obvious play, like a support level, I could do it. Sometimes it fails, right? Sometimes you buy it and it keeps going down or it goes sideways. But this is the first down cross on the hourly for Ethereum since August 1, 18 days ago, right? If I'm very disciplined with my trend lines, that trend line is lost right now, past 2 days. This trend line spot. So that's why, watch out, it's downtrending. Are we going to get a capitulation dump to kick out all our longs? And then I might try to re-enter there for the bounce. I also could do nothing, right? Because if I know this momentum, this bearish momentum is in play, sometimes the better thing to do is just wait for the ultimate low setup. If I'm talking about aggressive swing traders, somebody like really wants to try to trade something, there's that setup. But for me, I like patient setups. Sometimes being patient, waiting 6 months on Ethereum to make 100+% profit, that's disciplined trading. Okay, let's end here. There's a lot of talking today, but I'm trying to share more setups and strategies and swing trading versus investing, my thought process, my style, my strategy, because it works. If I just stick to the strategy, if I don't If I deviate from the strategy and I don't do the strategy, that's when I have really random trading losses. So that's why I have to discipline myself. I just don't chase everything that moves in the market. Let's end really quick. So just want to say with Cardano, it's still in this golden up cross. There's a lot of lines here. Cardano's still in the golden up cross. We had a nice bounce, but it's looking like a short-term bearish momentum play. Probably going to consolidate, maybe down to 85 cents. It's not over yet because we had the golden cross. It's going to be over when we have multiple rejection attempts. Try to bounce, crash, bounce one more time, pull back, try to bounce one more time, and then when it's stopping and then we start to see a larger symmetrical triangle or pattern like that, then we get the big dump because it failed. Then people know, maybe it's not going to work. But this one is not like that. This August play, it's still in the golden up cross, and it's a very short term, probably going to pull back, but then high, low, maybe 75 cents. I might try to re-enter here for one more bounce. But I always want to have a stop loss on that zone. Always have a stop loss. And the last one, Aptos, it just came out on my scanner. Yes, this is looking pretty junk-like, and in terms of, it's not just I shouldn't say junk, but it's just not the most popular crypto. It just showed up on my scanner because even though it's downtrending, the weekly is showing large momentum. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. Sometimes the last time this happened, a year ago, it took 6 months for it to go up. So it's not the exact perfect time to buy right now. It's just something I'm showing Aptos that if it's going to do it again, this is the third time we're having this type of MACD open MACD with MACD histogram on a very similar looking RSI. It's not extremely oversold, but when it starts to uptrend, if it does it again, and this is probably correlated with the Bitcoin, there might be an opportunity here, but watch out. If it violates below 390, then this is canceled, this chart. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Remember to manage risk, and let's just be patient for our investments and our trades. And it's going to be a big week. So let me end with the watch list because there's a lot going on last week and this week. So August 18, Monday, stock earnings releases for this week is we got Palo Alto Networks, Home Depot for stocks, Analog Devices, Estee Lauder, Lowe's, Target, TJ Maxx, Walmart is going to be the big one. USA economic data, we have FOMC meeting minutes, manufacturing, services PMI, unemployment claims. The biggest news, Jackson Hole Symposium, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days, and Fed Chair Powell is going to speak. The news, this is the word on the street is that people are anticipating maybe there might be an interest rate cut in September, and maybe he's going to talk a little bit about that at his last Jackson Hole Symposium speech here. Probably, though, he's probably going to reinforce that we need to see more data support and that the Fed must be independent, etc. Something like that. Recent news, earnings season continues. Now, Intel, I actually bought Intel before this because the rumor last week was that Trump administration was talking with the CEO of Intel. So I longed Intel. And then we got the official news. Trump administration reportedly in talks to take a 10% stake in Intel. SoftBank also to invest $2 billion into Intel. However, Meta and Palantir have seen the largest increase in notional short interest this year, meaning some people are thinking, some traders are thinking Meta and Palantir are too high in the price, overvalued. Jackson Hole Symposium Conference, Fed Chair Powell's last time as chairman, and the SEC delayed decisions on several crypto ETFs to streamline their approval process. Those ETFs included Truth Social, Solana, XRP with October deadlines. And these are the chart events that I went over in this video. Summary is we have short-term, medium-term bearish momentum, but we're still in the uptrend. There is no extreme chart event that I'm concerned about on major indexes. It's all about the earnings and the news right now and government legislation. Thank you for watching and hope you have a nice trading week. I'll see you in the next video.